Madison from Jamaica Live, and I want to ask why you guys are here today.
Oh gosh. I mean, we're here because we know we have privilege in our own lives, and we know that there are other people who don't get a chance to I don't know, so you're like putting me on the spot, but you know,
I'm sick of people dying for no reason.
Can you say your name?
Joe. My name is Joe.
Joe?
Yeah.
Rose.
Is this your first match?
No.
Am I right?
How many days are you been out here?
This is my third. My third.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
What do you want to see from this march? What do you want to see?
Change.
Change.
Yeah. We want to see change. We want to see actual change that happens continually over time, not just, okay, we repealed one law, we, changed one thing here or changed one thing there. Like, we want to see actual change happen, not just at the police level, but the systemic racism that's inherent in everything, in every business, in every aspect of the country. Like, those things have to change too. And I think it's really important that people continue to get out here every day. I know not everybody can be everywhere every day. People have jobs, people have families, but like, if you have time, like, it doesn't take much to get out once a week, to spend an hour of your day making phone calls or sending emails. Like, those things are really important. You have to keep doing them week after week after week.
That's really good, because one of my questions that I'm asking people like you,
white people. It's okay, we're white.
White people, what are you doing in your everyday lives to make sure this change happens?
Yeah, so I work for a marketing agency, and I've been having some really uncomfortable conversations with our leadership around how I think our company needs to change, and how I maybe haven't been as consistently vocal in the past as I probably should have. We've had conversations, but like, I didn't follow through, and I'm making sure that I follow through and that they follow through too. And it's, we're doing things like that. We're also, we are donating money when we can, donating time when we can. I've always been really passionate about trying to volunteer, particularly with groups that are not supported, regularly, and not necessarily the mainstream places. So there's been organizations, we live in Queens, there's been organizations I've volunteered with in Queens for a few years, and I'm thinking about, okay, once COVID's over, how can I make sure I stay engaged with them and continue to work with them and like give back my time, because like you have to spend time with people. It's one thing to like send an email or put up a Facebook post or whatever, but like you have to expose yourself to other walks of life. Like, you have to think about like what somebody's feeling as like a human being, and you can't really do that if you don't talk to other people.
What about you? Engaged.
I know.
You're gonna have to keep up.
I'm gonna try. It's a lot. I had a friend call me out for my silence, and it really resonated with me more so than I ever thought it would. And then I've been trying to do things to be better, to be a better ally. And so I've been trying, to be more vocal. I'm probably vocal for the first time. And it's made me a little uncomfortable, but I feel better about myself that I'm trying in some way to do something, because I want to see things change. And if we keep coming to these and people keep showing up, things will change.
And she said earlier that change for some people is going to be change for everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good thing. It doesn't mean that like your own individual life is gonna fall apart. Like, it's, people think like, oh well, it's scary, right? Like, it's scary when you want to change something like boring in your own life, when you're like, oh, I think I might apply for a new job. Like, that's scary, right? But like, you have to get comfortable with it, and like, we don't make progress unless you think like, okay, like, I'm gonna be okay with this. I'm gonna be okay with things not feeling okay to me, not feeling normal. Yeah, like, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and like knowing that like everything in life is impermanent, right? Like, we are only here for a certain amount of time, and
So do you think a lot of white people who are against this are afraid of the change that may come with more power given to black people?
That's right.
Yeah, it's fear. I mean, I can't speak
People are
for those
scared of
people,
what
but
they
like,
don't know,
Yeah.
and there are those people who hate, and I won't be a part of that, and they need to be phased out, and change needs to happen, because we are all human beings, and that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, but it's definitely fear-based,
Yes.
right? It's a scary. And that's what I was saying. You have to expose yourself to other people, because like a lot of the people who have that fear. I grew up in Iowa. I grew up I grew up in the city. I grew up like in a fairly diverse neighborhood, but I have friends and people. I don't know if I call a lot of them friends, but I know people who grew up in the country, who grew up in places where like there was one Asian kid at their school or one black kid at their school, and like they weren't exposed to it from a young age, and their parents weren't either, and it just like it goes on and on and on. Like you have to take the steps to say, hey, you know what, I just realized like I don't have any friends who don't look like me. I don't have any friends who come from a different background than me. I don't have any friends who have struggled in a way that like I haven't. So what can I do to expand my worldview, right? Like it's just like you can't argue with people who don't believe in your views if you don't take steps to educate yourself on why they have those views in the first place, right? Like you have to learn like what makes their experience different than mine, and then sit with that and like think about, how does that make me feel? Like how do I care? Do I not care? Like what can I do to help this person? Like this person's my friend. Like a friend of ours who's she's from Brazil and she's black, and her family, like she's married to a white man who's from a small town, and his family is, you know, like she's like they've said some things, but like yeah she's like they've said some things before, but like on a human to human level, like she's like I've connected with some of them, and I know that like if I can connect with you and if you see me as a person, that like you can change, right? It's one thing to be like, I don't see you as a person, I'm not gonna accept that, but like it's another thing when like you start to break that down, and maybe they make a generalized racist statement, but then they start to see like, okay, this person, you know, is actually, they're a person. They have the same struggles I do.
Do you think more white people should have more black friends to go out and find black friends?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely. I think they should have more black friends. I think they should have more Asian friends. I think they should have more Native American friends. I think they should have more poor friends. I think they should have more immigrant friends. Yeah.
I grew up in a very diverse area, so I was lucky, and having friends from all different backgrounds and colors never was weird to me, ever, and I'm happy about my upbringing in that way.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for talking to Jamaica Live.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.